Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear student of second year class, now we move on to the next lecture regarding the gastrointestinal tract, the very important organ lying in the oral cavity, tongue, the tongue. Now you all know that the tongue perform many functions, including these are the movements of the bolus, movements of the food particle within the oral cavity, helps in the generation of vocal resonance, helps in the uttering of the voice and speech. Third is it has a function of very important taste sensation. Then it has a variable amount of lingual lipase, which is concerned for the digestion of the lipid material within the stomach. Lingual lipase, which is secreted by the von Ebner gland. So what is the tongue? Mass of interlacing skeletal muscle covered by mucous membrane. The mucous membrane is lined by the stratified squamous, non-keratinized in the upper and lower smooth part, but at patchy it is also keratinized at the apices of the lingual papillae. Connective tissue is present in the lamina propria with scattered salivary glands, pockets of adipose tissue also visible. Now there is a well-defined circle, a line, a groove, shallow groove, which is V-shaped. This is called as sulcus terminalis, divides the tongue into an anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. Mucosa covering the upper surface of tongue is thrown into numerous projections called the lingual papilla. Mucosa is thrown into multiple projections on the dorsal surface of the tongue, which make it rough in appearance. Under surface of the tongue is of smooth mucous membrane. The papillae are located where? In the posterior 1/3, posterior to the AV sulcus or groove, there is no papillae, but it is richly embedded by a lymphoid follicle. This is called as lingual tonsil. Now there are three types of papillae are present. Fungiform, it is also called mushroom-like. The apex is broad, the base is narrow like a mushroom. Filiform, it is thread-like, finger-like. The apex is pointing. Circumvallate, that is the hunch type, it is the saddle shape. So foliar papillae are common in human. So there are three main types: fungiform, filiform, and circumvallate. But mind it that the posterior 1/3 is lacking the papillae, but is full of lymphoid follicles. They are called as lingual tonsil. Now this is the diagrammatic presentation of a tongue and its very important function of taste, as well as location of the various types of papillae. Look at the picture. This is the AV sulcus, shallow groove. Now the anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. All the papillae are located in the anterior 2/3, posterior 1/3 is lingual tonsil. Now location of circumvallate papillae are mostly close to the sulcus terminalis. You look at the picture. The sulcus, close to the sulcus, the circumvallate, whereas the middle part of the tongue is covered is by filiform papillae, where at the margin you see a fungiform. So marginal location is fungiform, middle part filiform, and close to the AV sulcus is the circumvallate papillae. Now look at the picture for the various taste location. The tip is sweet and salt. Tip is sweet and salt, whereas just posterior lateral to the tip is the salt, and sour. So all this is location of the taste buds. Most lateral one in the middle is the sour, and the bitter taste is you will obviously located close to the AV sulcus. Bitter taste close to the AV sulcus. The sour taste, salty taste, lateral margin. Tip is for sweet. So this is the diagrammatic presentation of location of various papillae as well as sensation of taste. Now look at the picture of the filiform papillae. Now it is the mucosal fold. So look at the tip. Tip is pointing and it is projecting toward the surface. So this tip is sometimes is the certified squamous keratinized epithelium because of the constant rubbing and friction over that, so it will make this epithelium harden. So sometimes it is cornified epithelium at the tips of the filiform papillae. Epithelium is certified squamous epithelium, non-keratinized. Lamina propria obviously having the connective tissue element. Rest is this muscle, all skeletal muscle. Now shape is, it is finger-like, leaf-like. The apex is pointing, sometimes keratinized. Now this is the fungiform, fungus-like, mushroom-like. The base is narrow, the apex is broader, like fungus. The epithelium is again stratified squamous non-keratinized. Lamina propria invaginate toward the fungus globule part, the lamina propria, and then you see the various types of glands, salivary gland, and the muscles are altogether skeletal. Circumvallate papillae, look at the picture. Circumvallate papillae, it is a saddle shape. The base is narrow and the apex is broader. This is having a trenches in between the neighboring circumvallate papillae. Look at the trench. This trench is concerned for the sensation of taste buds. So all the taste buds are located in these trenches of the circumvallate papillae. Connective tissue element, lamina propria. This is the serous glands, or sometimes bone abdominal glands are also located. We will discuss in the next slide bone abdominal glands. What are these? So serous glands, bone abdominal, and some salivary glands are also visible. Lamina propria contain all the elements of connective tissue. Now the characteristic feature of this is the formation of trenches, depth, invagination. So these depths or trenches contain the taste bud, and these taste buds are concerned for sensation of taste. Now this is the whole diagrammatic presentation of tongue H and E. Lamina propria contain the collagen fiber type 1 and type 2. Muscle layers are present in 3 different directions, all skeletal, horizontal, vertically arranged, longitudinally arranged. All the arrangement of the muscles, all are skeletal tongue muscle. So this is filiform papillae. Look at the picture. So this is the tip. Lamina propria also invaginate toward the tip. Certified squamous, non-keratinized, lamina propria. All the elements, tissue element, that is the fibers, collagen, elastic, reticular fibers, then the fibroblasts, plasma cells, macrophages, lymphocytes, as well as the blood vessel, nervous tissue, all are the present within this lamina propria. This one is the lingual, salivary glands, scattered acini. Now these are the lingual salivary gland, multiple running in all direction of the skeletal muscle located within the depth of the lamina propria. Now, what is the bone abdominal gland? Serous gland lies in the lamina propria, located in the trenches of the circumvallate papillae. The ducts open into the trenches of this circumvallate papillae. So it is a duct containing gland. It is exocrine gland, not the endocrine gland. It is the exocrine, and also secrete excretion within the trenches. They secrete lingual lipase, lipid metabolism के लिए lingual lipase, prevent phobic layer over the taste bud. Now always remember that this prevent it will digest the lipid material on the pores of the this taste bud to prevent the clotting of the incoming bolus, ताकि वो बोलस जो है उसके पार्टिकल जो हैं वो जो स्क्रीशंस हैं या लिक्विड है वो कम्प्लीटली उसको सेंसिटाइज कर सके टेस्ट बड्स को। जो अगर लिपिड लेयर बनेगी उसके ऊपर तो प्रॉपरली मटेरियल केमिकल स्टिमुलेशन विल नहीं हो पाएगी। दैट इज व्हाई द लिंगुअल लाइपेज विल एक्ट एंड डाइजेस्ट द लिपिड मटेरियल एंड ओपन अप द पोर्स ऑफ द this pores of this taste bud. So these taste bud then sense the types of the sensation which carries whether bitter, sour or this one is the sweet. So they help to propagate proper gustatory impulses. So gustatory impulses depends upon the release of lingual lipase and it will properly convey the gustatory impulses to the higher center. Lingual lipase is active in the stomach to digest the 50% of dietary triglyceride. Now always remember the triglycerides are the components of the fats. So 50% digestion will take place in the stomach with the help of lingual lipase. So von Ebner gland you should have to memorize student location, circumvallate papillae. It is duct-containing gland, it is exocrine gland, pore the secretion within the trenches and secrete lingual lipase, so it will digest the 50% of carbohydrate stomach as well as it wash out the lipid layer on the pore of the taste buds to properly propagate the gustatory impulses. Now look at the location of this von Ebner gland. So these are the circumvallate papillae, these are trenches of the circumvallate papillae. So this is the duct of this von Ebner gland. So von Ebner gland pore excretion in the duct and will move into the trenches from where the taste buds are present. So it will sensitize all the chemical stimulation and properly convey the gustatory impulses toward the higher center. So lingual lipase is excreted by the von Ebner gland. Location is the lamina propria in this circumvallate papillae in the trenches. Function is to enhance the proper gustatory impulses, digestion of the triglyceride. And over here we want to discuss with the taste bud. Now this is the diagrammatic presentation and this is the H&E stain. Now look at the picture diagrammatic presentation. This is the lingual epithelium, stratified squamous non-keratinized. So this is the shape of a taste bud. Consists of three types of cell: the basal cell, which are the progenitor cell. It had the capacity that it can produce the sensory cell as well. Others are the sporting cell. These are the sporting cell. List one is this without hair cell. Some cells are sporting like this. So some cells are hairy cell. These are hairy cells are apical hairs. Taste pore, apical hair. These are concerned for the taste receptor. So these are the actual cells which taste the incoming food material, liquids. This is the taste pore. This pore is sometimes overlapped by the lipid material. This is digested by the lingual lipase by von Ebner. So this taste bud is consisting of three types of cell: basal cell, sporting cell, as well as sensory taste receptor cell, which are having a hair at the apical surface. At the hair at the apical, this is the taste pore. Look at the picture. So these are the basal cell. These are basal cell. These are concerned for the parent cell. They are concerned for the regeneration of the lost cell from the taste bud. These are supportive cells, and these multiples are the hair cells or receptor cells. This is the pore of the taste bud. Rest is the lamina propria. This is again a H&E stain, very well defined. So look at this is the taste pore, taste bud opening. This is the lumen of the trenches. Now basal cell, supporting cell, and these are the hair cell in between. So these hair cells, the receptor cell. This is lamina propria. Rest is the epithelium, stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Now, this is all today lecture. Next, we'll move on to the lymphatic tissue of the oral cavity. Thank you very much.